Hello everybody, here I am today going live. We're going to talk about something really cool. I'm going to give this a few minutes. I know some people, I just kind of posted that this was going to be a live coming up soon, shortly, and shortly has arrived. So give it a couple of minutes while I get myself together here. Hello Marissa. Oh, I see people coming on, so this is good. I want to talk about something that is very near and dear to me today. It is called the Roseto Effect. So I'm going to give a couple minutes here, see who else is coming. Hi, Jane. And then if anybody has questions or comments about what we're talking about, because I know that some of the people watching know this story already, so they can share some of their insight as well. And I'm actually close enough today to be able to read what's on here. So, all right. So basically, the Roseto Effect. What is it? Some of us who are from the town of Roseto Effect in Italy. Thanks, Carter. So those of us who are from Roseto Effect in Italy, which is a little town in Puglia, in the heel of the boot of Italy. The first of them came over to the United States back in about the 1880s, the first wave of immigrants to come here from our town. And they settled in eastern Pennsylvania in an area where they were working the mines, and they ended up forming their own little town. And so what they ended up doing was naming it Roseto after our town in Italy. So from the 1880s to now, but to the 1960s anyway, they just lived in their little town, just Italians living their little lifestyle. And around 1961 or 2, I think it was, hi Joanne, hi Betty. So in 1961 or 62, a doctor who served the town told a colleague of his that this town had no heart disease. Basically, none up to a certain age. I think up by 55 or 65, nobody was having heart attacks, no heart disease. So, of course, these doctors go and study the town. And hi, Tina from England. So I don't know, Tina, some of the people on the other side don't actually know the story of over here. So this doctor who studied, who was the doctor for Roseto, Pennsylvania, told this colleague of his that nobody had any heart disease. And so they all go study the town, and they go study what they think is the obvious, which is the diet. But even though they ate fruits and vegetables from their garden, there was a lot of things they couldn't get at that time. They couldn't get the good olive oil that they were used to. They were using more lard than they did in Italy. Lots of other things. Eat a lot of salted cured meats, food fried in the lard. And then they were also drinking a lot of wine, which at the time they didn't know was as good for your heart as it is now. But even so, a lot of these things didn't jive. And they all smoked, and they were overweight because of a lot of the things that had changed from that side, like I said, like the olive oil. But they were happy and they were healthy. So they started studying the social aspects of the town, and they ultimately attributed it to the lifestyle, the social. If you go to Roseto, Italy today, you will see what these doctors saw back in 1961, 62 in Roseto, Pennsylvania. They see multiple generations of families living together, or families that live next door to each other. They had, there was virtually no crime. Everybody took care of each other. It was a very connected community. And they said that one of the things that little note I took, because even though I grew up with this story, I'm one of the Washington, D.C. Rosetani. So there's a group of us. The first wave came over, went to Pennsylvania. Then that was 1880s. But then the 1950s, 40s, 50s, 60s, another group came over, and a bunch of us went to Washington, D.C., and a bunch went to Toronto, Canada. So the thing is, I grew up knowing this story and how special it was to be from Roseto, but what I didn't know was all the details. And only in recent years have I actually looked up even more of the details. And, you know, they said the community was trusting, they were supporting of one another, and they seemed to enjoy life. And I got to tell you, when I'm in Italy, nothing bothers me. Absolutely nothing. I'm in that village. I feel comfortable. I feel connected. And in recent times, hey, tennis, in recent times, I have been seeing so much news out there. This is something I've always known, how lonely Americans are. And this loneliness is debilitating. People here, we have evolved into this society that lives in four walls. We do not live with a piazza, a town square where people walk back and forth and see people, where people open their doors and people are walking by and they always say hello. I've sat on my porch here in New Jersey and people walk by, and unless you're straight up staring at them and looking at them, nobody even turns their head and says hello. You know, if it's somebody I know already, yeah, they'll say hello. But there's people who just walk by. In Italy, when I'm in the village, strangers say hello. Everybody says hello. They say buongiorno. Buongiorno means good day. It's not asking how are you, like we tend to default to here. How are you makes you right away think, oh, how am I? You know, and it's a crazy day. And then for years, my answer was crazy. But you know what? Yeah, it is crazy here. But over there, it's just buongiorno. It's just a wishing of a good day. So what they found was that this whole phenomena of the Roseto Effect, which they have dubbed it, and it is scientifically noted in that, it began to disappear following a period of what they said of erosion of traditionally cohesive family and community relationships. Loneliness. That's what makes it disappear. The Roseto Effect is about togetherness, is about community. Because they ultimately attribute it to the community-centered, church-centered, family-centered life. I forget how many little groups and organizations they had in the village that, for just a small town, there's a group that did this and a group that does that. But whatever it is, everybody did things in groups. People come together all the time. And what they found was the benefits disappeared as Roseto became more Americanized. Not my words, the words of the scientists. And so what is Americanized? Because they said that back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, America was still unique groups of immigrants, of ethnicities that cohabitated. Then we became a melting pot. Well, I don't believe in the melting pot, and I'm going to tell you why. I personally think, and of course I'm going to default to food, and I'm going to default to Italian food. But I think we should be more like an antipasto platter, where each thing shines on its own, but together it's this beautiful platter. I mean, come on, the mozzarella shiny white by itself is beautiful. The roasted red peppers, the olives, but put them all together and it's even more beautiful. That's what America should be. We should be an antipasto platter, not a melting pot where everything just gets cooked down and is brown and is just all mushed together. We shouldn't be mushed. We need to celebrate what we each are. So for me, it's Italian. For Mary, who just signed on, who is very Irish, with McCartney and McManus as your names, celebrate your own heritage, because in our differences in our heritages is where we are more alike. Because those who tend to be more in touch with their heritage, oftentimes heritage and faith are intertwined, because if you're, you know, you're Italian, most likely you're Catholic. If you're Irish, you're either Catholic or Protestant. If you're wherever you're from, it tends to dictate, you know, what the group's beliefs were. But those things, the traditions and the rituals and the values that come from our heritages are what make tight families and stronger individuals, which we are so missing here now. So I'm on a mission to get people back to the table, as I've said before, but I'm also on a mission to encourage people to seek out your heritage, because in knowing your heritage, and you study your foods and you serve those foods, learn how to cook, and sort of bring those people together at your table, you will revive the Roseto Effect in your home and maybe even in your community. So let's do that, because there's a big group of us people a big group of us Rosetani, Rosetans, as we would say in English, who are here in this country, and we should share what we know, and everybody else should look it up. There's a great book called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, and if you read it, he talks about all the different communities and incidences where different things that are happening in your life, or when and where you're born, dictate certain things. But chapter 1 is about Roseto, Pennsylvania. So that's a beautiful thing, because we're kind of famous, our little village in the mountains in southern Italy. Thing is, most of the people from Roseto, Pennsylvania haven't been back to Roseto in Italy, a lot of them anyway. And most of the people in Roseto, Italy do not realize the effect that they've had on here. A lot of Italian Rosetans don't realize how much influence they've had here just by that story of Roseto, Pennsylvania, 50 plus years ago. I hate saying how many years ago it is, because I was born in the 60s. But anyway, just not going to say which one. So it's really, really a beautiful thing. So I urge everybody to Google the Roseto Effect. Let's see. Oh, yes, hello. Yeah, there's actually, someone's posting here, there's an author, Adriana Trigiani, who a lot of people have heard from, who's written a lot of books, and she's from Roseto, Pennsylvania, whose family was also originally from Roseto, Italy. So we've got a lot of cool people that have come out of our little village in Italy. There was a big band leader, Leonard Falcone, who was in, I think up in Detroit, who was a big guy. And then there was another one, I think it was Patsy Papano, who was a big detective up in, I think that was Detroit too, somewhere up there. That, sorry, up there from, DC and New Jersey areas, that's up there. But he was a famous detective who I think was one of the ones that helped catch Pretty Boy Floyd back in the day. He was actually hired into that group to find these guys because he spoke Italian. So anyway, there's a lot of cool stories that come out of our village, but everybody seeking out their heritage will find their story. So I want everybody to really start paying attention to the Roseto Effect. Get to know your neighbors. I bet you 1 million people do not, I don't even need to bet 1 million people, everybody. So many people don't even know their next door neighbor or the neighbor 2 doors down. And that's really a shame. I've been in this town 20 years. I've been on this block for 20 years. And there's a couple nearby neighbors that I've never met. And it's really sad. Not for me not trying, but people are closed off, and we have become so accustomed to living in our 4 walls, and it makes us lonely. Loneliness is toxic. And just by fluke, I've been saying this for years, and just by fluke, yesterday I'm online and I see this podcast thing about the loneliness epidemic in America, and I'm like, wow, somebody else thinks so too. Obviously, I'm not a soul thinker. I just don't go reading out, lots of random things. And I believe that that is something that really, really is harmful. So I went and actually looked it up, and this thing, let's see, what did it say? It said, loneliness is worse health issue than smoking. Wow, and we know how bad smoking is and what it does to us and how many people have that problem. So, that's really same. And then I was talking to a mental health practitioner recently. Felicia, I'm in Madison too. So I don't know where you are now, but I am here in Madison. So this health practitioner I was talking to, she said that 30-some% of the American population eats alone on a regular basis. That is really sad, because you know how many people are in the United States? It's like 360 million. That means over 100 million people are eating alone in this country on a regular basis. Not I'm eating alone at lunch today because my kids are at school. I'm talking every day, 3 meals a day. That is really, really sad. We should not be eating alone. We should be getting together. So now I know people who don't have big families. I've got 6 kids. Of course, they're all over the country right now. But I have a big family. Now, when you think about the possibilities, okay, so you don't have anybody to eat with, let's just say. Say you have no family. Your parents are gone, or you live far away. get a neighbor, find a friend, go make some friends, go online to get offline, okay? Because sometimes, like there's a website called meetup.com, and there's all these activities and groups that use this platform to get together off the computer. So find groups, find things that you can do, commune, get together with people. It is healthy. It's not just fun. It's healthy for you. And they say that those people will live longer. Loneliness is a killer, that Felicia here just said, and it's so very true. And Michelle, I know it was more than 30%. The number that I was given, it was definitely more than 30% of the American population. I just can't remember the exact number, so I'm gonna have to find that girl and get that number from her. But we need to do this. So my son sent me a photo this week, and if you go onto my Dorina's Kitchen Facebook page, scroll down just one or two posts, he texted me and I screenshotted it. He said, he sent me a picture of their coffee table in their dorm, and with all these, he's got 3 roommates. He's Italian, and he's got I think Japanese, Chinese, and Thai roommates. So they're all 4 different places, and they had this dinner where they all cooked something from their own backgrounds. And so my son made the pasta aglio olio with the broccoli. So I saw that on the plate, not on the table. I was like, oh, that's what he made. I knew it, because all the rest of them had, you know, some kind of meat and rice. I knew those weren't ours. So anyway, but I was so proud. He said, yeah, we're going to start doing this every week. So like college campuses, if you've got kids, or if there's any young people that get to see this, you know, do it at school, do it with your friends, do it with your roommates, do it with your neighbors, and get together and eat together, because that's where it all starts, at the table. So, oh, you know all your neighbors, Becky Sue, hi. Oh, because they're all family. So are you, of course, see, that's beautiful. And when we're in Italy, I see people every single day, and they all get together all the time. Friend of mine posted, she sent me a picture of them doing a carnevale dinner, and it was at one of the local restaurants in the village in Roseto in Italy. And my friend sent me this. She goes, oh, for the event or whatever. I said, what was it? She goes, oh, it was a last minute thing, but we all just real quick made up some costumes and went. So they'll throw something together in a heartbeat, and you know, they just go and they just have fun. They use every possible excuse that they can find to get together. So eat healthy, absolutely. And in my cooking lessons that I'm going to do here online, I definitely will hope that I can share some cooking lessons with you and give you some ideas for dishes and healthy food, because of course I do believe in eating healthy as well as just eating together. But come together with people and eat together, because it's actually more important how you're eating with people that you care about, eat with those you love. And you know, food is everything, and because it really does bring us together. When I first met my husband, he asked me 3 questions. The first thing he asked me was, are you Italian? Can you cook? Will you marry me? So, you know, it comes back to these important things that we, as, you know, for example, he's a fellow Italian, what we value. We know that holds us together. You know, when we were first married, and he walked in the door one day, we were young and we were broke, and he walks in and he goes, man, it smells good. Because of course, what do broke young Italian couples eat every night for dinner? Pasta. So I had the sauce on the stove, I had the water boiling, and he walks in and it smells really good. He goes, man, he goes, I'm so glad we're Italian. And I looked at him, I go, why? He goes, because I'm so glad I love pasta. So, you know, I'm going to have t-shirts made one of these days, Dorina's Kitchen, I love pasta, just in honor of him. But, you know, it's really something nice to know when you connect like that, and these are the things that bring us together. So, whatever it is that you can do to, you know, help yourselves and help your families and help your friends find out what the Roseto Effect is. You don't have to live in Roseto to live it. So let's all start living it. That's what my goal is. My goal is to get the entire United States to know what the Roseto Effect is and to try to live it. Because if we bring back the Roseto Effect, we can combat loneliness. Loneliness leads to so many other ailments. It leads to depression, leads to stress. And these stressors are what kill us, whether they kill us physically or they kill us mentally and emotionally to the point where we can't take it anymore. And then, you know, suicides and drug use and all this kind of stuff. There was something I read here. There's a book I'm actually going to order that, wait a minute, hold on. I'm going to tell you what it was called because it was really cool. I saw this little, it was a YouTube video, like I said, I found by accident today. Joe Rogan is the guy who was doing the video, and he was doing an interview with a guy named, hold on, I'm going to tell you. Hold on. Johann Hari, H-A-R-I. And he wrote a book called Lost Connections, and it's about uncovering the real causes of depression and the unexpected solutions. And in the interview, they were talking about loneliness. Now that's, you know, so let's get away from loneliness and we save ourselves mentally. The other book that he wrote, which also was really interesting, was, hold on, come back to that one. It's called Chasing the Scream and the First and Last Days of the War on Drugs. And again, it's the opposite of addiction is connection. Look at how many things come back to us eating well, eating together, being communities. If we come back to the table and we live the Roseto Effect, we can combat physical health, heart problems, because we are taking away stress, we are taking away loneliness. More than likely, if we are encouraging people to eat at the table, it's because we have made a meal ourselves, which is physically healthier. So then we're talking less cancers, then we're talking less obesity, because we're eating, when we're cooking, we're eating and we're doing things so much in a better way. Cooking should be part of the party, not the chore before the party. So enjoy what you're doing. Allow the chores of life to be enjoyment. Find some zen in peeling your carrots and cucumbers. You know, peeling potatoes. I like peeling potatoes with a paring knife, not a peeler. Peelers make a mess. Everything goes all over the place. I'm horrible with the peeler. But give me a nice little knife, and there's some kind of wonderful feeling doing it with the knife, you know. And of course, I love my knives, you know, that's my tools. I love it. But we can combat, you know, like I said, all those ailments. Plus, we can combat mental health. I think that the first line of defense in mental health is the table, where you can sit across from people and actually see their faces. So with all of these things together, let's take an example from the people where I come from. Roseto Valfortore in Italy, Roseto, Pennsylvania here, Washington, D.C., Toronto, where lots of millions of, oh, and Akron, Ohio. There's apparently a lot of Rosetans in Akron, Ohio, I found out. So if we can come together and start sharing the Roseto Effect, we share this with the world. We share this with the United States. You know what? Really, truly, the rest of the world lives the Roseto Effect. Not just Roseto, Italy. We are just the perfect example, but all of Italy lives like that. Rest of Europe lives like that. You know, the rest of the world lives in more small communities than we do. We are pushing this, what they called, you know, like I said before, the benefits of this whole Roseto Effect disappeared as Roseto became more Americanized. We don't want Americanized to be a negative thing. We want Americanized to be, let's enjoy what we all came from. You know, DNA testing so popular right now because people don't know who they are and people are seeking identity. In that identity, we have connection. So seek out your identity, find out who you are, find your people, and then share it with your friends, like my son is at school with his other friends that are from other places. So Roseto Effect all the way. We are going to bring this back. We're going to get back to the table. We're going to know our heritages. We're going to combat loneliness, depression, anxiety, obesity, heart disease. Look at that, just by coming back together at the table and living the Roseto Effect. So on that note, I'm going to leave you right now because I'm going to get ready to later on do a video and show you how to cook something. but please do me a favor. Look up the Roseto Effect. Write to me, send me pictures of examples of that. I'm gonna put them on my page, let's share it. We've got the Back to the Table Facebook group, my Dorina's Kitchen and Dorina's Kitchen table group. Let's put all this stuff out there. Let's make it big. Also, this video will be repeated on the Facebook page as well as on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. So I now finally thank you all for following me on YouTube. I have my own URL, so it's youtube.com/Dorina's Kitchen. Maria, I have no idea what I'm making yet today, so that's going to be part of the excitement. It's going to be a surprise. I just got a whole box of vegetables, so we're going to pick out something. It'll probably be something with some vegetables. So anyway, I think that we're going to, you know, be able to do this. But if you would, please share this video, share my YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate it. Like I said, youtube.com/Dorina's Kitchen. Dorina's Kitchen everywhere. We're just going to make it kind of known. This is where I, I'm glad I crack you up. So, you know, let's do this. Let's shout from the highest mountain and share the news that it's time to get back to the table and live the Roseto Effect. Have a great day, everybody. I will see you guys later on. I got to go because I don't know what I'm making yet, so I got to go figure that out. See ya.